we're here to remember the DC-5, but to fight for them and fight for them to be treated as they should be treated. And I think it's really important, right? If a 1-month-old child was just discarded and just tossed aside, imagine the horror. Imagine all the news stories. Imagine what you'd see on, CNN, local news, Fox News, whatever. And here we're talking about precious life that was just callously disregarded, discarded, just thrown away like refuse. That's just unconscionable. So that's actually what, to me, is the most compelling point of all of this, in addition to laws that need to be followed. We're a country of laws. And so when we gather here today, we're talking about both that violation of our conscience in terms of how these human beings were treated and the violation of law. That's why that's what Chairman Biggs and I sent our letter to the city and say, hey, what are you doing? And we're glad the medical examiner paused. But now what, right? We need to go seek the truth. We need to know what's going to happen next. We need the Department of Justice, as my colleague Pat Fallon pointed out, to look into this. And we have jurisdiction over the District of Columbia. Congress does, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're standing in front of the Capitol. The District of Columbia is the nation's capital. We have jurisdiction, and the city needs to answer to us when we're trying to stand up in defense of these precious lives. On the FACE Act, I could not agree more. And we're not here to talk about the FACE Act, but we are here to talk about life. And if we have citizens across all ideologies, whether you're talking about progressives, Teresa, take off, whether we're talking about progressive, whether we're talking about conservatives, we want to protect free speech, protect people's rights to be able to go out and exercise their ability to assemble, to be able to speak out. And that's critically important. And I hope the Judiciary Committee will take up the FACE Act. I hope we will pass it. I hope we'll send it to the floor. I hope we'll send it to the Senate. I believe there can be bipartisan support for that, because we need to stand up and stop this persecution of people for carrying out their closely held religious beliefs, their free speech rights. That's what's happening. The Department of Justice is using it as a weapon. That's right? We have 140 or so examples of it being used specifically against pro-life activists, and like 3 in other cases. It's being weaponized against the people. That needs to stop, and we're not going to stop until we make sure that that is signed into law and that we can protect the American citizens.